Hello, my name is Malak and this is my EDS 121 final exam project. The first question is asking to describe the following terms. 1A, the gut. The gut is a long tube with ridges from the mouth to the anus that allows food to be propelled through the gut, which has lots of finger-like projections that are called villi that capture nutrients and absorb them. 1B, gut microbes. Gut microbes are a direct link to our genetic material, and they influence how we react and respond to things in our environment and how they can keep us healthy. The gut is packed full of microbes. There is no space. There are two kinds, one microbiota and two microbiome. Microbiota are all microorganisms living in an environment, which in this case is the gut. Microbiome is the entire collection of genes found in all microbes associated with a particular host, in this case, is the individual. These are essential for our health and survival. 1C, gut microbes and what we eat. What we eat can influence our gut microbes, which in turn can influence our brain function and help keep it normal. Any food that we ingest contains microbes, and some foods contain good bacteria as well. Our gut microbes influence whether we remain healthy. What we eat shapes our gut microbes, and our diet is a huge driving force in shaping the human microbiome, as fasting reduces the biodiversity while feeding increases it. 1D, gut microbes therapy. What is it? How is it therapeutic? What is one research study related to gut microbes that is found to affect health? 1. What is it? Gut microbe therapy is known as bacterial therapy, which is the replacement of gut microbes. This type of therapy transfers one person's stool to another person's. 2. How? Bacteria therapy helps with obesity, weight loss, food aversions, eating disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, arthritis, and bacterial therapy can potentially help aging as it boosts the immune system due to your immune system becoming weaker with age. I do want to say that this is my first time hearing of gut microbe therapy or bacterial therapy, and I've never heard of transferring one person's stool to another person's. I think that that's interesting, that procedure can be helpful to people who need these therapies. People who are suffering with obesity or weight loss, etc. But yeah. What is one research study related to gut microbes that is found to affect health? There was a fecal microbiotic transplant by a nasal gastro tube. Fecal microbes were taken from lean donors and were given to patients with metabolic syndromes, which, for example, is having the risk of developing diabetes. 6 weeks post-treatment, no glucose was found in the blood, and the patients were responding to insulin. Although this research study caused the patients to gain weight after the fecal microbiota transplants, and lean patients were gaining weight because of this therapy. The diversity of intestinal microbiota associated with an increase in bacteria. So question number 2 is, what is a new thing you learned from this theory that you did not know before? A new thing that I learned from this theory in this video was that our gut is as long as a badminton court, which I found really interesting. That's something that long could fit inside of from our mouth to our anus. I also thought it was extremely interesting that gut microbes play such an important role in such major organs such as your brain. I didn't know that these microbes could affect other organs besides your stomach and organs that are associated with digestion. And it's interesting that not eating or fasting affects more than just your stomach, and it could affect your brain development. Number 3, what are the specific areas, emotion, mood, of our body that get affected by the type of microbes in our guts? The brain, bowel function, and the intestinal nervous system and the immune system can all be affected by the gut microbes. Number 4, important chemicals and hormones found in our brains that are thought to be affecting our overall health are now found to be produced in our guts and not necessarily within our brains. The idea is to make your gut healthier for improvement of overall health. Due to the video, how is the type of our bacteria determined at the beginning? Do we get bacteria microbes from others or any other external activities? And if so, what types of activities or elements cause us to exchange our bacteria? The type of bacteria is determined at the beginning of the video by our genetic material. Gut microbes is a type of bacteria, and it is a direct link to our genetic material, which in turn can influence how we react and respond to things in our environment. We get bacteria and microbes from many different things, which we can receive from other individuals, animals, water, the food we eat, through our skin, animals we live with or take care of, where we live, and even French kissing. Any activities that we do can expose us to different types of bacteria and microbes, whether you are indoor or outdoor. So, every activity that we receive bacteria and microbes from, it does not matter where you are or what you are doing, you can receive bacteria and microbes from pretty much everything, and it doesn't matter where you are, if you're outside, inside, it could be from things that aren't in the same species as us or the same species, people we live with, etc. So you're always receiving microbes and bacteria. Question number 5 is, what types of food is considered effective to increase good bacteria or good microbes in our guts? List 5 food sources that improves gut microbes. So I found an article on Harvard EDU, which was, so according to Harvard EDU, there's an article written about the microbe that states that fermented food and foods high in probiotics are things that improve gut microbes and keep us healthy. A high fiber diet, in particular, affects the type and amount of microbiota in the intestines. Dietary fiber can only be broken down and fermented by enzymes from microbiota living in the colon. Short-chain fatty acids, or known as SCFA, are released as a result of fermentation. This lowers the pH of the colon, which in turn determines the type of microbiota present that would survive in this acidic environment. So some examples of 5 food sources that improve gut microbes would be, number 1, yogurt with live active cultures. Number 2, pickled vegetables. Number 3, kimchi. Number 4, miso. And number 5, sauerkraut. These foods that are fermented have been proven to be higher in probiotics and typically increase the good bacteria in your gut. Okay, and number 6. Number 6 asks, what is the effect of taking too many antibiotics for too long for our bodies and gut bacteria? What other things that affect reducing gut bacteria that in turn deteriorate overall health? The more antibiotics that are consumed, the less diverse microbiota populations become. Taking too many antibiotics result in driving the bacteria to become resistant against the medicine. Since we take most of our antibiotics orally, the microbes in excuse me, the microbes in the gut can actually alter the drugs, their structure, and produce factors that interfere with the antibiotics and help the body react to the medicine. There are several factors that affect the gut bacteria in our health, also in a negative way. Genetics, medications, your diet, the way that a baby was delivered at birth, so the method of delivery, whether it was natural birth or a C-section, the environment that one lives in, how healthy an individual is. Again, it could be something just as simple as a person's genetics. It was a luck of the draw. Other medications that someone is taking can affect the gut bacteria in our health in a negative way. And how healthy a person is. So a lot of these things that affect and deteriorate our overall health do come from birth or things that are unchangeable. But taking too many antibiotics for too long for our bodies can just cause this bacteria to become resistant against antibiotics that we are taking. As these antibiotics learn to build a resistance towards these bacteria, so we need to make sure that these medication are taken in moderation. And number 7, what do you yourself do in order to improve your gut bacteria? List 3 things you may want to do. So the first thing that I want to do to improve my gut bacteria is to increase my intake of probiotics. I know that yogurt is a food that has high levels of probiotics in them. And the second thing I want to do is eat lots of vegetables, legumes, beans, and fruit. I try to have a balanced diet and include vegetables and fruit in my diet day to day, but sometimes I don't have time to eat in the mornings, and for dinner it's just quick. So I do try to implement that, but I personally don't like the taste of beans or legumes, so I would just have to focus more on eating the fruit and vegetables and eating fermented foods. This fermented foods would be, as I said earlier, for example, it would be like the pickled vegetables, the kimchi, the sauerkraut. I know that these foods are good for your gut bacteria, as once a food is fermented, it results in determining the type of microbiota present, and the acid in your gut, it would just determine if it would survive in this acidic environment. So that is all the questions. I'm going to work on improving my gut bacteria, as I've also been seeing it outside of this project a lot on social media, and it's been kind of being talked about more frequently. And I really enjoyed this project, as it taught me a lot about things that go on inside of my body every single day that I've never thought about or even known about. And I enjoyed the speaker as well. And yeah, thank you for watching.